Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is August 20th, 2023. We are in the Old Testament. We are in the book of 1 Samuel. We're going to read from chapter 5:1 to verse 7:2. Chapter 7:2. Big, long section. And so what's happened here? Well, this is the end of this period called the Judges. And we've got the second to last judge, which is Eli. And pretty corrupt guy. He's got two sons. He's also the high priest. He has two sons that are priests under him. They're corrupt as heck, and Eli knows it, but he isn't doing anything about it. So, as a judge, he has fallen away. He's looking to his own things and not necessarily straight to God. And we said, he had pretty good faith in God, but he's got that blind spot. That's kind of what gets us here in the 21st century. Yeah, we pretty much follow God, but we always got our little blind spots that maybe God doesn't see it. Well, God sees it. In this case, God sent an angel to Eli and said, hey, you know what? Yeah, you're not going to do anything about it, then I'm going to punish you. I'm going to take your son's lives. I'm going to take your life. I'm going to take the high priest away from you, and I'm going to give it to somebody else. You're no longer going to be under my promise that I made to your ancestors. We saw the young Samuel, that God calls him and says, all right, I want you to show obedience to me. I'm going to give you a really hard saying to prophecy. Because Eli's going to ask you what I told you, and you're going to have to tell him to show that you're obedient to me. Because what God told Samuel is exactly what God told Eli. Your sons are going to die. You're going to die. I'm taking the high priest away from you, and I'm giving it to somebody else. Now we just saw the fall of Eli and his sons. Philistines, that's the enemy of this judgeship for Eli, coming against the nation of Israel. Eli's supposed to lead them in the fight, but he stays home in Jerusalem. They go out and they're defeated. And the people say, well, shoot, we should have brought the Ark of the Covenant with us. So we see that their faith, the people's faith, instead of being on God, it's on things. It was on the ark. Okay, the ark is really not powerful. God is powerful. The ark is just a symbol of God. But they're trusting in the ark, and they say, hey, if we bring that ark with us, then we'll surely win. We're not going to pray. We're not going to fast. We're not going to seek God's forgiveness. We're going to take this ark, and as long as we have that ark, God's got to help us. We see a lot of that in this time and period too. Doesn't work that way. They're defeated, they lose the ark. So calamity for Israel. The sons of Eli are killed, and Eli finds out that the ark has been taken, and he drops dead. So much lamentation in Israel because they lost the ark. Now we have the Philistines. That's what we're going to get to here. Now the Philistines also are idolatrous people, and they see the ark as an idol. But the ark has power for them. Now, it isn't the ark that has power, it's God that has power, because they're going to bring this ark and they're going to put it in next to their God and say, see, our false idol is better than this false idol. And God's going to say, nope, none of this. In fact, not only does he throw down their false idol, but there are plagues on the people, and there's rats or mice all over the place. So Philistines figure out, hey, you know what, us having this ark is bringing a lot of calamity on us. We need to get rid of the ark. And they come up with a plan, kind of a cunning plan. They're going to put it on a cart, and they're going to get two cows. They're going to yoke the cows to the ark, so they're not used to pulling things. The cows just had heifers, so we're going to take the heifers and we're going to put them over here somewhere. And if those cows do what they should do and go after their heifers, well, then we'll just say, hey, we tried to give it back, but now it must be ours. And it was just a coincidence that we all got sick. But if those cows do something completely opposite of what they should do, and they actually start going back to Israel with this ark, then we'll know that the God is powerful, and we'll let that ark go. And that's exactly what happens. The cows take the ark back to Israel. And the Israelites welcome it back, and we see that there's still power. God doesn't want them touching his ark. His ark should be in his tabernacle where he left it. So some calamity befalls them, and they go to the next further up village that has the Levites, and they say, hey, come get this ark. And that's where this section ends. And then we're going to see what the ark and what the Israelites do at that point. So we're going to read 1 Samuel chapter 5, verse 1 to chapter 7, verse 2. Then the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. When the people of Ashdod arose early in the morning, there was Dagon fallen on its face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. So they took Dagon and set it in its place again. When they arose early the next morning, there was Dagon fallen on its face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. The head of Dagon and both the palms of its hands were broken off on the threshold. Only Dagon's torso was left of it. Therefore neither the priests of Dagon nor any who come into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon and Ashdod to this day. But the hand of the Lord was heavy on the people of Ashdod, and he ravaged them and struck them with tumors, both Ashdod and its territory. And when the men of Ashdod saw how it was, they said, the ark of the God of Israel must not remain with us, for his hand is harsh toward us and Dagon our God. Therefore they sent and gathered to themselves all the lords of the Philistines and said, what shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel? And they answered, let the ark of the God of Israel be carried away to Gath. So they carried the ark of the God of Israel away. So it was, after they had carried it away, that the hand of the Lord was against the city with a very great destruction. And he struck the men of the city, both small and great, and tumors broke out on all of them. Therefore they sent the ark of God to Ekron. So it was, as the ark of God came to Ekron, the Ekronauts cried out, saying, they have brought the ark of God of Israel to us, to kill us and our people. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines, and said, send away the ark. Send away the ark of the God of Israel, and let it go back to its own place, so that it does not kill us and our people. For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of God was very heavy there. And the men who did not die were stricken with the tumors, and the cry of the city went up to heaven. Now the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistines 7 months. And the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying, what shall we do with the ark of the Lord? Tell us how we should send it to its place. So they said, if you send away the ark of the God of Israel, do not send it empty, but by all means return it to him with a trespass offering. Then you will be healed, and it will be known to you why his hand is not removed from you. Then they said, what is the trespass offering which we shall return to him? They answered, 5 golden tumors and 5 golden rats, according to the number of the lords of the Philistines. For the same plague was on all of you and on your lords. Therefore you shall make images of your tumors and images of your rats that ravage the land, and you shall give glory to the God of Israel. Perhaps he will lighten his hand from you, from your gods, and from your land. Why then do you harden your hearts as the Egyptians and Pharaoh hardened their hearts? When he did mighty things among them, did they not let the people go, that they might depart? Now therefore make a new cart. Take 2 milk cows which have never been yoked, and hitch the cows to the cart, and take their calves home away from them. Then take the ark of the Lord and set it on the cart, and put the articles of gold which you are returning to him as a trespass offering in a chest by its side. Then send it away and let it go. And watch. If it goes up the road to its own territory, to Beth-Shemesh, then he has done us this great evil. But if not, then we shall know that it is not his hand that struck us. It happened to us by chance. Then the men did so. They took 2 milk cows and hitched them to the cart, and shut up their calves at home. And they set the ark of the Lord on the cart, and the chest with the golden rats and the images of their tumors. Then the cows headed straight for the road to Beth-Shemesh, and went along the highway, lowing as they went, and did not turn aside to the right hand or the left. And the lords of the Philistines went after them to the border of Beth-Shemesh. Now the people of Beth-Shemesh were reaping their wheat harvest in the valley, and they lifted their eyes and saw the ark, and rejoiced to see it. Then the cart came into the field of Joshua of Beth-Shemesh, and stood there. A large stone was there. So they split the wood of the cart, and offered the cows as a burnt offering to the Lord. The Levites took down the ark of the Lord, and the chest that was with it, in which there were articles of gold, and put them on the large stone. Then the men of Beth-Shemesh offered burnt offerings, and made sacrifices the same day to the Lord. So when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, they returned to Ekron the same day. These are the golden tumors which the Philistines returned as a trespass offering to the Lord, 1 for Ashdod, 1 for Gaza, 1 for Ashkelon, 1 for Gath, 1 for Ekron, and the golden rats according to the number of all the cities of the Philistines belonging to the 5 lords, both fortified cities and country villages, even as far as the large stone of Abel, on which they set the ark of the Lord, which stone remains to this day in the field of Joshua of Beth-Shemesh. Then he struck the men of Beth-Shemesh because they had looked into the ark of the Lord. He struck 50,070 men of the people. And the people lamented because the Lord had struck the people with a great slaughter. And the men of Beth-Shemesh said, who is able to stand before this holy Lord God, and to whom shall it go up from us? So they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kirjath-jearim, saying, the Philistines have brought back the ark of the Lord. Come down and take it up with you. Then the men of Kirjath Jearim came and took the ark of the Lord and brought it into the house of Abinadab on the hill and consecrated Eleazar his son to keep the ark of the Lord. May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.